Oh, hello and welcome, or welcome back. I'm Crackers, and this is the sweltering blacksmith. We've got a heat index of 113 today, and I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. This is wonderful. In addition to that, my in-laws are coming to stay with us for the weekend. Yay! So we are, trying to do a little bit of decorating to try to make the house a little bit nicer for their visit. My wife and I are having our first child this fall, and this weekend is our baby shower. So they will be staying with us through the weekend, and I would just like to add some decoration to the house. You know what I'm saying? This one's pretty straightforward. We're going to make a raised kind of crown border on this, and then I'm going to cut letters out of a separate piece of metal, and then they will get welded onto the face of this, and then we'll put a hanger on the back and give it somewhere to hang. So all it's going to be embossed, and it's going to be fun and not sweltering and burning hot and, sweating all over everything. So, let's get started. Went and did the layout on this, and gave myself a 3/4 inch border, and I kind of guesstimated on the size that the letters are going to be. We will just have to start with a couple and see how it goes, and we will just adjust as necessary. Alright, and the first thing I'm going to do is tip our flange back. We're going to go about halfway through the material. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You kind of start your bend, get a rough corner, and then adjust your position, where you're hammering, how hard you're hammering, making sure you're actually hammering over the thing and not in the middle of space, because that does not work out well for sheet metal work. I'm thinking I should really just be doing this over the anvil. Alright, and at this point, we'll just be going back and forth, trying to get a peak, because I actually want a peak in the center, and clean up this outside edge and try to get it back to straight. We warped it a little bit, bending that, and actually see how much stronger this panel's gotten just in putting that bead in it. It's impressive. But in any case, we'll just do the same thing going around this way. And then we go around this way and keep going back and forth until we get a nice crisp corner out of it. And then for the corners, could do this over a fuller in the vise. I'm just going to freehand it a little bit. And flip it over and do the inside corner. Just going to be a little bit more tricky. That doesn't turn out too bad. So that went pretty well. Still pretty straight, and it actually came out pretty solid. So now I've got to try to see my template in the back here, and I'm going to cut all the letters out, and I will have to find some more material to do that with. How's that look? Does that look okay? A little bit less there. I think that'll work. So this is actually one of the reasons why I don't have a fixed top on my table. It's just not exactly the most efficient way to cut sheet metal, but it is very accurate. And you can do this in a vise. This actually works extremely well in those cheap Harbor Freight vises, since the corners on them are so sharp, and that little bit of serration on the end actually works really well to bite in and really gives them hell. A little bit less hammer though. Let's see, there. And this is going to have to get cleaned up with the file afterward. One thing I will mention that I forgot about is that you want your bevel level with the cutting surface, or with the flat. So you want your chisel tipped up. And I was not quite there. That's part of why it pushed through as much as it did there. Once upon a time I had a chisel that was only had one bevel on it, specifically for this, but I needed it for something else. So I reground it. And we have the letter E. Since we have two E's, I will just trace this back out on another piece of metal. We'll repeat that. Oh, I don't think we need to put all of this on camera. This is why I started with the E, so I can trace around it And since I'm going for like a sort of college block lettering, offset this way a little bit. This way all of our letters stay consistent. And that's basically the way we're going to do all the rest of them. Alright, so since we have two E's in welcome, I'm actually going to put them together and gang file them in the vise so that they are identical. And I am actually going to use my air sander because I have it. But this would easily be done with just a file. Still going to need a little bit of filing in the corners and stuff, but that does save a lot of it. All right, and then just for aesthetics sake, I want to put just a little bit of shape into these. I don't want them to be quite flat. And then just kind of roughly flatten it. Just trying to put a little bit of life into it. I'm probably going to take a lot of that back out. I did change my mind. What I'm actually going to end up doing is riveting it in place. I've got a couple bags of these, and they form pretty easily they form pretty easily cold. They do need to get trimmed down a little bit, but they do work pretty well. And I think just put one in each corner, and that should be good. And the last step, I made this little strip to go between these last two rivets, and that will serve as a hanger. These are certainly not the most beautiful rivets, at least not on the service side. Oops, I flattened it out. Yeah, we'll fix that. How's your mother? Alright, and that's it. Okay, so now, with our little hanging strip in place, our welcome sign is done.